All right. Oh, this is neat. I like this. I'm trying to figure out what all this extra audio it's picking up is. All right. We'll see how this works. I think I'm going to keep it on this one. Let's see. Can I get that a little bigger though? That's fine. It's fine. I feel like this. All right. All right. So, what did we say we were doing here last time? We're going to try to add in some of the quick little shading parts here of the ultramarine, right? Get that damn thing done. And we're going to try to add on like an overlay layer of kind of a smooth, lighter blue kind of scenario going on here. Hopefully it all works out. I got to get this. I want to try to get it done tonight. If I can't get it done tonight, I will make an extra thing tomorrow. After probably, uh, let's see, it'll be like 9:15 ish if I have to, if I absolutely have to. Mind you, that is an extreme if I have to. So that's want to avoid that in whatever way I have to. But all right, let's see what we got here. It's maybe all dried out, so we got to take a look. Yeah, the little ultramarines fucked up. I don't need a whole lot. I can dig it. This is the Star Child. On another day, chasing the noses away. This is the principal. Humdrum, I don't succumb. Alright. Now, oh, what's that? I don't like that. There's like a red warning thing. What's that? Click here to read your red notifications. What about red notifications? Drop frames detected. 54% a minute ago. Yakers. Three blind mice. Those blind three mice. Oh, I take those mice to pieces. Alrighty, hopefully. Okay, got it. Okay, alright, it's ready. Alright, we're gonna see how this works, man. I like this. It's I'm gonna put in a little cobalt blue into that ultramarine. It's really kind of dark. Oh, you mother. You will dance. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nickel bag full. You might as well pay attention because free speech is too high. Yes, you know what's that? It keeps saying frame rate drops. Now, is it because I'm using this different live feed here? Let me just see. How are we looking, baby? I don't know. Looks all right. It looks as good as it's gonna get. I mean, like I said, shitty cameras, shitty, whatever. The live feed should be all right though. Like as far as internet connection goes. Hey, I put those pieces to pieces. Oh wow, you can see me looking at me. You looking at me. Ah, like anybody's fucking paying attention. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. All right, yeah. Like I said, hopefully I get somebody to follow me today, just because I did something different, and I'd like to see if it worked. I changed it. There was that little zombie pop up thing, and it kept scaring the shit out of me. Not the zombie, I mean just the noise and everything were like really crazy for me. especially, the one I used to have that actually synced up to go in my ear. That really stunk. But tell him he will dance. He must dance. Anybody seen Sir Nose? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, listen to more George Clinton. It's a little more Parliament Funkadelic. Your life will be better for it, baby. See, I like what I'm getting here. Blind. So I have to imagine this thing won't even tell me if it actually succeeds. Yeah, so now I'm trying a couple things here. Like I said, figuring this OBS studio out a little bit. Streamlabs adjustment to it looks pretty good too. So hopefully we get a little more something out of this. It works really well. Makes it a little more entertaining for people. I still gotta figure out what I want to do for donations. I think I found the one I want. I don't even know if I can get donations at this point yet. I think I have to get to a certain point anyway. Not that anybody's been here anyway, so it's kind of I got time. I did kind of find myself in a spot. I gotta do some thinking about things. And I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. No, I'm going to do a little bit of outlining on the bottom here of these. Just giving it a touch right near the water edge. I'm getting distracted here. What I was going to say is, I was looking around. Believe it or not, I was looking for another job when I stumbled upon, an open call for artwork. So I was just looking to see what, if anything, is available, with an idea of actual, maybe in a museum or in a gallery or something along those lines that would make, maybe it wouldn't be as much money as I make currently at my job, which, even though it's not that much, I've got to be careful. I can't take too much of a pay cut. And I was like, you know what? Let me see what's available. And as I'm looking, I find this open call for a gallery now. They seem to be looking way in advance, stupidly in advance. I mean, I don't want to say it like that because that's, but it's for 2019. So I'm that's a long time away from now. And if I'm showing them stuff, now the open call though is over June 10th, I think. I gotta double check it. I have a little bit of time. Maybe June 15th. I think by June 15th. That sounds right. So I got a little bit of time, but it's not that much time. So it would mean I'm taking from this current stretch of stuff that I've done since January of last year, or March of last year. But they have some really weird kind of you can't have shown it somewhere else for within the year, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I could do that. I mean, I'm trying to throw as much shit at the wall as I can possibly get at this point. I'm kind of doing that unapologetically. So if I'm waiting on them to make a decision about a painting, you know, because I didn't really see when the call would happen. It's like, you know, if I throw up my last breath and tulips and I'm trying to think what another painting might show, like boats on the harbor or whatever, boats on Boston Harbor. I'm gassy. Like sorry, like burping gas. Don't worry, I won't be ripping ass here or anything. But told you we go for the high level jokes. The no, wrong one. I need this one here. There we go. So I got to make a kind of a call on this because like if I start showing that stuff and I'm going to wait for them to make a decision, I may get another show somewhere and I'm not allowed to show those ones anymore, you know? Or if by chance somebody sees it online here and they want to buy one, it's like, well, and I've shown it. I haven't shown it per se, but maybe someone here wants to buy a painting, you know, or on my Facebook page or whatever. So it's kind of a weird little. What do I do? Like, how do I agree to this for something that's not really happening until next year? But I have to show now. I mean, by June of next year, I hope to have at least 14 or 15 more paintings. That's a low guess, you know. At least as far as I'm concerned, I hope it's a low guess. I would like to get to a point where I'm doing. Like right now, I'm kind of at a one painting per month-ish thing. I'm a little behind now, but because this one took forever. But I would like to get to the point where I'm thinking that like at least a painting a month, if not getting up to about 2 a month. So, you know, if I'm lucky, if I get the hell out of Siemens, and get somewhere that's like within a half-hour drive as opposed to an hour plus. That doesn't sound like much, but in reality, you know, it makes a difference in that little bit of time where you're like completely fucking exhausted and you're trying to just get the strength to do what you have to do. You know what I mean? Like, Tony couldn't fly. Tony died. These are people who died. Sorry. You know. So it's like a little double-edged sword there. I got to figure out how I want to pull this off. Because I saw another one today, actually, thanks to the University Arts Facebook page. So I'm going to try out for that one too. And it's like, if I get that one, then technically I'm showing probably some of these same paintings within the year before the thing, and I don't know how that's going to play out. So it's a bit of a conundrum. I mean, there's just as much of a chance that I won't get either one of them. I mean, he's still wet. No, that's all like hard. Well, the white's good if I just poke in there. Let's see it. And then if I poke in the purple, I guess not violet. All right, we're good. I hate trying to put down another stinky freaking bit of medium, so we're gonna move that out of there. Ah, god damn it. Alright, I'm gonna take that, poke that in there, poke that in there. Let's get some. I'm using paint that's very, very, it's dried out at this point. So scoop some out, just slap it down. Trying to dig into, dig deep into it and try to get some little pieces that might be still moist. How's that word for you? Everybody like moist? Got that old lady that makes me moist. That picture, you know what I'm talking about? I love that one. Anytime somebody says they don't like that word, that's the first thing I go to. Again, as I've said many times, I prefer to be the biggest asshole in the room. So I try to make sure that, like I'm establishing dominance of assholishness when I draw that one. That should be pretty good. Someone's a funky singer. Come on, trip out. There we go. Not too hard. No, not too much. too much of a drip, you know? Got too much of a drip, you know? I mean, you gotta go see a urologist or something. Usually it's a sign of a kidney stone. Believe you me. Actually, no, I might use that darker one. Yeah. So we're gonna take some of that, just so we get a little bit of the medium. Let's see what we do. Yeah, I do apologize for missing last night. It's just, I mean, look, it was Mother's Day. Yeah, I mean, if you can't figure out what was holding you up, you know, then you're a moron. We had a Phillies game in the afternoon. You know, it's their Mother's Day special thing. You know, that was fun. And then we had dinner that night, and dinner reservations weren't till 6:30. And you know, like all restaurants and stuff on Mother's Day, dude, it was just packed, and it was just, even though we had reservations, like service, you know, and I'm not picking on the lady at all. I've waited tables on Mother's Day. I know how fucking nuts it is. I actually, when I waited tables, I actually cut my hand on Mother's Day. I was trying to make up bread real quick. And I was just slicing. I sliced a huge chunk of my finger off, actually. I had a big old finger condom on, like, you ever seen those things? Like, you know, that was pretty funny. I know you can probably barely hear me when I'm doing this. I'm trying to speak louder, but I have no idea how loud I am right now. So like I said, I totally get it. I'm not trying to be an asshole in any way, shape, or form regarding how the service was. I'm just trying to say, like, it was kind of slow, and so we had to, you know, wait it out. And so by the time we got out of there, it was like 8:30 when we got home. So I was like, dude, I can't even go out for 5 minutes because by the time we, you know, and continue to watch the show that the wife and I watched together. So I said, all right, well, we'll just call it, and then we'll do it up, make it up if we have to. I'm really hoping I don't have to, because I really was hoping for Tuesday evening. Hey, first off, it's my wife and I's 14th anniversary. I mean, it's not a big one, you know. It's not one of the big ones, but you know. See, for some reason, she actually enjoys sometimes spending time with me. Usually around these important dates. I don't get it. Keep in mind, I suggested last night for Mother's Day that we reenact the, you know, that act which made her a mother. And so she screamed loudly at me and then told me, "You did this to me!" Screamed at me, "You'll never touch me again." You know, just like when she became a mom for the first time. No. Honestly, if you, I will give this totally to my wife. I never saw anything like it. Not that I saw many, but like my, I've, you know, you hear stories of how painful, how hard childbirth is, and truth be told, if you tried to base it off of my wife's reaction to childbirth, you would have been sorely disappointed because she looked like she had, like, they're coming in there checking her contractions and stuff, and they're like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm just a little uncomfortable, you know. And they're like, really? Just a little uncomfortable? She's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling much of anything right now. Why? And they're like, because your contractions are like high. They're really strong. And she's like, nah, I'm okay, you know. And she's, when it came to my son, she just sort of pushed him out. Like, it was just pop. You know, it really didn't take very long. You know, as opposed to, like, say, my oldest daughter was like 33 hours of labor and she had to be born via C-section. So I give a lot of credit to my wife for. She was a tough bitch, man. Don't fuck with her. I'll tell you that right now. I remind my children of that quite often. Like we were at karate night, my son. Yeah, it's just me and him. Like my wife stays at home with my daughter, my younger one, and I hope the older one can be home by herself at this point. She's like 22 years old almost. Jesus Christ, she can't. That's trouble. But anyway, I'm sitting there, and my son's doing like the moves. They're doing like a back and forth along the mats. And he gets up at one point towards me, and I mean like he's like right in my face and about to do a kick. And his teacher, don't hit dad. And I was like, go on, try it. And I'm like, truth be told, out of the two of us, he's got a better chance against me than he does against his mother. Pop her in the face with what? Fear for his life. He gave us a raft of shit yesterday, though. We, if you didn't notice, nice and short now. Finally got the haircut that I need to do. And that was, look, we do it at home. I mean, like, all we do is buzz our hair. Like, my son just wants it done typically as fast as possible. And I'm pretty much the same way. I really don't like going to get my hair cut ever. When I was in high school, I had really long hair for that exact reason. Like, I mean, really long hair. But I called him up in the morning because I was like, dude, I want to get our hair cut before we go out. Like, before we have to go to the Phillies game, I'd like to get this over and done with. Just get it, because if we put it off, it's going to be next week before we can get it done at home. And it's like, and we already got enough shit backed up. Like, we had intention to work on painting the back, and the rain kept it from happening. And so I was like, all right, let's just get this part over with at least. And so I drug him upstairs. I mean, I didn't drag him, but I told him come upstairs instead of playing his video games, and oh boy, that basically put the rest of the day in fucking hell for us. So he was not what you would refer to as a happy camper. I'm gonna put like a little bit of blue here, just like imply like maybe there's a few spots where this like stick is kind of drifting underwater a little bit. Why'd you go off, Alexa? I know you guys can't hear it, but what's the matter? Is the NSA trying to like download how many times I said fuck today? Huh? Is that what it is? I did find something out about Amazon Music today, and I'll drop this real quick before I have to go upstairs and put the kids to bed. Its shuffle actually is bullshit, and I've got proof of it today. I have some stuff I've loaded up there, which I was like, dude, I haven't ever actually heard these songs play, like, at all. They've never played on my Amazon Music. I loaded them on there, and because I never selected them myself in the random shuffling. The fuck is your problem? Nothing. It's just like disconnecting. Anyway, excuse me, so I take a drink. So I clicked shuffle on it. And but I clicked the first song I wanted to play. So I played Coolio's Fantastic Voyage, just because I loaded it and never heard it. I mean, I've heard it, but not since I put it on the Amazon Music. And then I listened to it, and then I went into a couple songs where I was like, this just wasn't what I wanted to hear. It wasn't what I wanted to hear, so I skip it. Wasn't what I want to hear, skip it. Went to the next, wasn't what I want to hear, skip it. And so I'm like sitting there like, okay, let me put on something else that I haven't heard yet. I have it on there. So I put on Belly's Feed the Tree. Okay, listen to it. Sure the fuck enough. Belly's Feed the Tree ends. Immediately followed by Coolio's Fantastic Voyage. Immediately followed by the song that I had skipped right after Fantastic Voyage. Followed by the same song I had skipped right after that. Followed by the same song. So it's like 5 songs in a row that I had skipped after Fantastic Voyage before I decided to put on Feed the Tree. And those same 5 songs popped up right after Fantastic Voyage popped up after Feed the Tree. You follow me on that one? So it was like, Okay, their shuffle sucks balls. It's not a shuffle. It's like it's not. There's totally nothing random about it. They just pretty much throw what they want to or whatever at you. That's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. All right. It's just about time for my kids to go to sleep. I'm not too painy right now, so I'm gonna let this thing. It's having problems loading. It just keeps cutting in and out on me. So I'm assuming it needs a little load time. It's having some buffering issues. Why it's having buffering issues, I don't fucking know. Cool. The page that I don't promote is getting likes, and the page I do promote isn't. That's lovely, isn't it? All right, go back to the main screen here. Alexa, pause. There for now. This should work. Let's see. Well, actually, I do want to see. No, no, no. Okay, that's great. I'd like to. Hmm. All right, I'm gonna have to play with this a little bit. It's just I'm looking at this OBS, and it's not much bigger of a window preview than what I have under my normal one. And I was hoping to get a better view of that. just because I can't see, and I don't want to, I've had so many issues with these cameras going out of whack that I just don't want to. Like it's kind of fuzzy, so I'm gonna have to kind of guess, and then I'm gonna have to wait for it to catch up. I don't like that. I wish I could just get a full screen of this. There's nothing I could do, huh? Gotta try to look them up. Look a little better. Maybe a little better. All right. So now I was playing around at work today, trying to figure out. Oh, hold on. Alexa, resume. Okay. Be a pain in the balls. Beat you up. Break your. Anyway. So I was playing around, like I said, and now I was fooling around with the idea of like a lighter blue for this, just basically what should be a surface level. Okay. Just literally like water tension surface kind of thing going on there. But I think that's where I've been fucking up. So hear me out. We don't really have anything to represent the sunlight reflecting off the water. So I think that's where our Naples Yellow Deep's going to come into play. Mix it with a little bit of white. Not too much, just a little bit, Just and we may still end up with a lighter blue, like even lighter than this, for a few spots. But I think that's where I've been screwing up. That's what my instincts telling me. It's like, oh, you done fucked up. You know what I mean? That's what the instincts are telling me. Funky town, won't you take me to Funky town? And we're not going to be adding a whole fuck ton of them. It's basically like we're going to kind of be adding some ripples, and that means pretty solid lines of the ripples. I think that's going to work out for us. I think. Yeah, that or you guys might get to see a famous Coates meltdown. Could work. Who knows? You never know. It'll be a happy little fuck you. But hopefully this is it, because I would really, really, really like. Besides, as I was saying now, besides being my wife and I's 14th anniversary tomorrow, I actually was going to try to start planning and putting together some stuff for Wednesday night. As I said, I'd like to kind of do like a. I wish I had more interaction here. I really do. I wish I had like my followers, like everybody here tonight, or something talking with me, because I would really like to see what people would like better. I was kind of thinking about putting in a few of the paintings that I had. Oh, good. Can I get yellow on there? Okay. It really came into play with me during my breakdown. They really had a major impact to getting me back into shape. And then in those, some of them will be things that I can point out to you that like what I'm thinking about primarily are there's 5 paintings that I did a study of. And I'm thinking about the next painting probably will end up being a study of a Goya piece, but I'm not 100% committed on that yet. I gotta look at my canvases and figure out which ones I have, what sizes they are, and then what I really want to putz around with. The only one I have a vague idea for right now, and I say it's vague because I literally don't know what it will be, other than it has to be something summer related. Would be the canvas up here on my wall. And And then I have a canvas, like I said, set up for the study for a Goya piece, but I wasn't really sure I wanted to do that next. But I digress. I wanted to talk maybe about some of these pieces that really had an impact on me and get me back into fighting shape, so to speak. And so I'll have some studies of stuff I did that I can show you guys and show you how the painting looks in reality. Oh, that's just not good. I shouldn't have done that. Actually, no, that's the better brush for this. That brush is frayed. It's a good mixing brush, but it's not a good painting brush. It's also green on the mic. Sorry. So I think that's how I'm going to play it out. That it'll be a like a little bit of back and forth of here's this painting from say like Yosef Israel's Last Breath, and then I'll play it against my version of it, and maybe stuff that I don't have a study of, but that also were important paintings for me getting back into shape, like Van Gogh's Rain. If I do this way, it won't be a pleasant one. There's hold on, let me scratch my ear. There's now I'm being all sensitive, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna scratch my ear. Some of the stuff that was happening then, and some of the stuff that was going through my head, are not really pleasant things. So if you are familiar with me, and I mean, I've tried to talk about it pretty openly here. Insane Hassan. Tell you, we had a pretty good conversation about it. Actually, no, I'm gonna switch. I'm defaulting again that little fucking brush, but it always works so nicely for me. No, you no. I'm gonna find. I know the brush I want. Where's the bitch? Where are you, little bitch? Don't stop hiding from me. No. Fuck, where are you hiding? Keep it out. I don't think that's on the line. Focus on the pain. That's the one I wanted right there. Alright, that's the one. Anyway, well, let's put it this way. The stuff that I would likely show is not going to be apparently pleasant. Because some of the paintings and the ideas behind them were rather dark. I was in a dark place when I came up with the idea to do them. But it's more about, in their darkness was where the light was found, if that'll make any sense. And it would make more sense if I show them off like that. So that's what I want to do. I got to figure out a way to, maybe I'll just pre-record a video and load it or something, or, slideshow of some nature, and then I'll talk over it. But I think that's what I'm going to do for once this thing's finished, before I make a decision on the next painting. It's kind of a pity, because honestly I was thinking even of my wife just went shopping, so we got like all this nice little fruit, like for the week, next week, 2 weeks or so. It's kind of like, I just did a fruit still life, like 2 paintings before this one, but and it's almost the same exact fruit. It'll be lemons and pears and whatnot, but it was like, honestly, it was kind of a slightly different arrangement, and it just looked kind of nice. But my wife won't let me bring it down here. She's like, they're for eating, not for painting. You know, that was the fun part when I was in college. You know, buy fruit for a still life, eat the fruit. Yeah. Or like I used to it's like a little market, you know, shop or whatever on where was it? I think it was like 13th. No, I'm sorry. Take that back. I was going the other way. Might have been 15th or 16th. Yeah, it might have been 15th or 16th. And Spruce. I think it was Spruce. That sounds right. It was like a little mom and pop shop, you know, kind of thing, and they always had flowers in the front in the morning. So I'd go there and I'd buy like a dozen, you know, tulips or whatever, chrysanthemums, and then yeah, I'd work on the painting. And again, I was much faster then, so finish the painting and like probably that afternoon or maybe like you know the next day, and it was nice because then in my studio I had a nice little you know fresh decorations pretty regularly. I don't know if my studio mate appreciated it as much as you know. I'd have to ask him. If Kevin McDevitt ever gets on here, he's got to tell me whether he liked them. I thought it was nice. I always appreciate it when he brought in flowers for me. No, I'm just kidding. But when he bring in flowers for still life, I was like, yeah, dude, sweet. He did a beautiful. It was actually a diptych, but this one still life really. It was very like fertility type thing going on, which was really cool. I really enjoyed it. It was a it was one part of the diptych was a still life of daisies, and then the other was just like 3 eggs. But if you put them together, the daisies was vertical, the eggs were horizontal, but the table line matched up perfect, and you know, there's like just a if I remember correctly, there was like just a hint. And now see, this sort of fuzziness comes in again. I don't remember which one was first, but just a hint, and I mean like a hint, of the shadow cast over into the other painting. I don't remember if the eggs cast into the daisies or vice versa. I think it was daisies and the eggs, but so it was neat how that you know if you didn't know there was supposed to be another painting with it, it worked fine. You would have just thought you know it's just a little tonal change on the tabletop. But once you saw it together, it was like ah. One of our teachers was there looking at it. Kevin was trying not to openly say what it was. And the teacher's sort of just hammering on all the surface elements of it. And I was like, yeah. He gets done with a little review from the teacher. And it's Eugene Baguskas, actually, I believe. And he left the room. And as soon as he leaves the room, I was just like, hey, nice fertility piece. And he goes, thank you! He's like, I was waiting for somebody to say it. Like, they get it. I was like, dude, it's fucking eggs and flowers, dude. It doesn't get any more obvious of what it is, you know? Like, it could make it more of a fertility piece if you put, like, you know, the Venus of Willendorf in there. That's hard history there for you guys. Go look it up. You know, or like had two people fucking on it. Like literally, that's about as easy as you could get. It was moments like that I sometimes wonder, you know, were the teachers waiting for us to just come out and say this stuff, or were they just did you have to really be as subtle as a jackhammer to make them see it? Yeah. Because I didn't seem to pick up on much symbolism. I get it with someone like me that I tend to not fall under classical symbols, but more pick things that are semi-symbolic to me. You know. One of the paintings I had done earlier in the year was a horse shed, and I think I've mentioned this before, but it's got like crazy little amount of brambles and thorns and stuff in the foreground area. And I uh, I see those as kind of a representation of when I went through my struggles. Like that's when I had my breakdown. That's what that is. And then through that's the clearing. Beyond that is an actual very painterly kind of landscape element. And so to me, that's very much symbolic of my journey. And it took almost the real length of time between when some of the important dates of that journey. And I didn't intend that. It just sort of, once I started getting near the end of it, I was like, oh, I'm going to finish this right near when I actually cracked. And like these little bits that started to come through, and like, I started on the day my friend Bob died, and that was really as I say, that's the snowball that first started rolling down the hill. And okay, now, okay, so it was like that type of stuff. I mean, I've been openly intended at the elements, but it was something that definitely was playing out on the canvas. I see my philosophy teacher in college used to say that what the artist intends is pretty much unimportant. Okay, this will really kick everybody in the balls if you're trying to make deep, meaningful work. He pretty much said that whatever your intentions are for a piece are just shy of meaningless. Whether it's a symbolic piece, abstract, whatever, it really didn't matter. The viewer is who finishes your piece. Now, he had a couple ways of explaining that. The first was, all right, even if, say, you frame a painting that you're going to sell, there's a really good chance that the person who buys it is going to just get it reframed by something else, maybe to fit their, decor in the house or whatever, Or by framing it, you may lock yourself out of a few sales because it doesn't fit, and they don't want to have to go through the hassle of getting it framed. But he also meant that, if you look at a painting devoid of art history, okay, you're gonna look at a painting by Delacroix or Michelangelo. It really doesn't matter. Pick a fucking artist. Someone that like maybe you don't know their story. Okay, like it doesn't work as well with me and say Van Gogh because I know Van Gogh's story so well. I know so many of his letters. I know so much of that stuff. Even though, like I said, this has gotten funky and I don't remember it as much. It's still there. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But the premise that he was going off is that, he's Delacroix. Delacroix painting one of his lion hunts. He may have had one intention for what he was trying to represent. And he may have been trying to represent the barbaric nature of those lion hunts or the, bravery of those warriors that were going, the hunters or whatever. But you, especially now when you're now looking at modern eyes and how we may see that type of, slaughter as almost offensive to our eyes. So if he intended to show a bravery element of it, now we're looking at it as, just in the modern eyes, we may be looking at it as like, dude, you're hunting endangered fucking animals, asshole. I mean, not that he was doing it, but in a world that kind of has a great deal of Islamophobia now. They get a lot of Arab hunters in those. These can be misinterpreted or reinterpreted, however you want to play it out. And that's what my teacher was trying to explain to us. My counter to that, though, is if you take a minute after you finish the painting, you know, it may not be, and I say a minute, but it could be 3 years for God's sakes. You may find what you were doing on the subconscious level. If you know your psychology well enough, you really have to kind of be able to look at yourself in a way that is not comfortable. There's not a lot of people that will ever really call themselves out on their own bullshit. You know, it's always easier in the human mind to throw blame on other people or whatever. So sometimes it's a little harder to dig into your own mind and see what's kind of hiding underneath of there. So, like I said, for me, I was painting this horse shed, and truth be told, I really wasn't going for too much depth. I mean, I did know I wanted to make those brambles like really twisted, and I kind of had this idea that this is, here's my psychology that I was going through. Here's this clearing. I did like that idea. But like I said, once I got to thinking about when I actually decided I was going to get in the studio and sit down and start working, Alexa, skip. You keep trying to shove that one down my throat too. I'm not happy about that. But you did this this weekend too, so I know you're fucking with me now. I'm telling you, there's no such thing as random with this fucking thing. Did the exact same 2 songs right back to back. It's like 12 hours of music, and I get the same 2 songs back to back. Anyway, I digress. And so I may end up talking about that a little bit with some of these paintings I show. If I show some of the stuff I've painted. And if you've been on my Facebook page, none of this will come as a surprise to you. I'm pretty clean about what I've spoken about. Maybe 1 or 2 things. Like, I don't know if I ever really discussed the way I look at my tulips now versus when I painted them. Honestly, when I painted them, I was looking for a relatively simple subject but it was bright and colorful. Because I hadn't painted in 4 years, and I just wanted something I was very comfortable with. I wanted something that made me feel sort of connected to my master. Vincent wasn't known for doing tulips very often, but they are very associated with Dutch, So, I mean, while there are plenty of the Dutch that don't like them anymore after the Dutch, economic screw-up that happened with the tulips, the idea is still there, that it's sort of, okay, I'm talking about my Dutch-French master. He painted in a very French style towards the end. I was living in France and all that, but the idea there was that I'm trying to sort of connect without making a direct, without doing sunflowers. That would be like throwing it, don't go like thing. I don't want to do that. I wanted to do something that was very me, but not, that had a connection. If that makes sense. But after I finished it, I began to look at, the details of the painting that I kind of became obsessed with when I was working on it. Things like how some of the leaves of the tulips are twisting and writhing within each other. And how much the tulips look like fire burning through all that, and that's why I kind of realized that that's sort of what drew me to those pictures. Is that that imagery was the idea that perhaps that twisted background area or whatever, the weeds and all that stuff. That's all the shit I was dealing with at the time. And then the fire is, the actual tulip flowers, were a fire burning through it and trying to reignite, this. Um, you know, without those tulips, there's nothing that follows it. If I hadn't pulled those off successfully, I don't know what would have really played out in the end. Run the nose and run the yoke. Even if you have a cold still, you can cough on me again. See, I think this worked out. Instead of going with a blue, I think this pulls it off. I want to peek at it a little bigger just to see how it looks on your guys' end. Yeah, I don't know if it looks off cleanly for you guys. Again, I would recommend highly, if you see this video here on Twitch or you see it on the YouTube archive. Actually, I gotta double check. I think I may have a painting still waiting in archive. I haven't put up. Anyway, I'll have to look at it again, make sure I'm up to date. Get to my Facebook page. Again, I'll put a link in there. To remind everybody. But the good news is, I think this is getting done tonight. I mean, if I gotta go a little late, I'll go a little late. I got no problem with that. Because my other option would be, I put it off till tomorrow night, and I gotta go late tomorrow night, then I don't know what to do. Because, see, I'm not allowed to take off work this week. At all. Like, we have a member of my team who's out. Now, that on its own shouldn't be too hard. It's one person, but then again, I'm only a team of 4 people. So that means a quarter of our team is gone. Poof. And then the other problem is one of the other teams, the guy there is friends with him, so he's going too. Now they're low too. Now they're getting rollovers from us, and we're getting rollovers from them when their calls come in. There's nobody available, and I'm getting my ass kicked from people I don't even know. And when we tell them, hey, we're really short-staffed because of this, they go, no, we have full staff. I gotta get out of there. I'll be honest, I'm thinking about actually just joining like a house painting thing. Like, see if I can get a job doing that. I wonder if they'd mind if I paint with a little brush. I'll paint your wall, just really fucking slowly. I kind of want to wait until my wife and I finish up this, until we actually can get to work. I shouldn't say finish, so we can actually just do work on the back of this studio, on the outside. Because right now it's like, but it would be like, hey, look, here's a little bit of a house painting portfolio. Do that, do my son's room, and then see what they just, here's what we did. All right, who just signed up? Did it work? It worked, didn't it? That looked cool, didn't it? I don't know. Let's see here. Anita Kitty, welcome. Jay and Silent Bob pop up right? I hope they did. Sounded like it. At least the alert went off, the sound alert. Damn, see, I wish I'd actually been looking at it when it happened. Damn it. I think I fixed it, right? I want to get rid of that little zombie I had as the default. But yeah. Only downside is it still distracts me, so now I don't remember what the hell I was talking about. But that wasn't important. No, it's about house painting, right? It's getting the hell out of here. Get out of this shitty job. And just, truth be told, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I need a physical job after this piece of shit when I've been. Because there's a different tired after a physical job. Like, in the rare times that I've actually been able to say, like, take off and just been able to do this. I know this doesn't seem very physical right now because I'm stuck by the cameras and how much space I have, but I used to get very physical with it. And then if I was painting for 8 hours, 9 hours a day, you know, you get done and you're like, I'm tired, but damn, I'm going to sleep like crazy tonight. And versus like, you know, shitty customer service job that I work, it's like, you know, after a day full of shitty phone calls and dealing with people's garbage, it's like, I come home and it's like, I'm tired. Like, but it's not like I can go to bed. You know, I gotta sort through my psychology of it. Does that make sense? We're getting there though. This thing's almost finished. I think this is gonna be it tonight. We're gonna wrap this fucker up tonight. I'm so happy. I gotta get rid of this thing. Well, that's an interesting mixture. Went from London Calling to theme from Shaft. Let's see, are you still here? Let's see what's doing. She just followed and then left. Aww. Did I scare her with the chainsaw, Bob? The I always like to see if I can get a baseline and see if people are painters, if they do work, you know, what they do. I said my goal in the long term here is to make this eventually like a more like an artistic forum place rather than just me sitting here painting slowly and boringly. What's I got over here? Anything? Oh, no, I did that one already. I looked at that notification, asshole. Yeah. I'm excited. It's nothing worse than that. Like, well, probably the only thing worse than that is like when you send yourself an email and you like forget about it, and then 2 seconds later, oh look, an email. I did that to myself today. I guess I was earlier. I was saying I saw these open calls for galleries and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, sweet! And I better send these to myself." So I remember to finish the application process. I sent it to myself and clicked refresh on my email. Like, oh, look, email. Private dick who's a sex machine with all the chicks. Shaft. Damn right. Yeah, you know, there's actually a little room for like a lighter blue, just touches of it. I don't think a lot. Maybe right along the edges. Man. Shaft. Right on. Oh, that's what they dig it. Fucked it up. As the case before went cuckoo. When it's all about shaft. Right on. That's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Something about shaft. You can dig it. Did I see they were doing another Shaft movie? I could have sworn I had seen something with Samuel L. Jackson in his Shaft getup. But then I haven't seen anything since then. Like it looked like it was just, you know. I'm gonna check this out real quick. I could have sworn I'd seen it. Oh, something. Oh, it looks like it might be something regarding possibly a Shaft reboot on Netflix. Is that what I'm seeing? There it is. Yeah, there's photos like Richard Roundtree, Sam Jackson, and they're saying Jesse T. Usher. Let me see here. Is saying it's going to be on Netflix? Like, I know Netflix movies are pretty terrible usually, but Netflix will distribute. Oh, okay. It's going to be in North American theaters. Oh, June 14th next year. Okay. And Netflix will do international. Okay. I really dug the Samuel L. Jackson version. I don't know if enough people like really. I mean, me and my friends all loved it. We all went. Like, did we see it twice in theaters? I think we might have seen it twice in theaters. I'm trying to remember. I think I saw it twice at least. I can't say all my friends went, but I think I saw it twice. I think I might have seen it with my friends, and then I might have seen it with my wife, like when we were dating. Which eventually became a thing that we would not do anymore. She would not go to theaters with me if I'd already seen the movie. Even though I'm not a spoiler person. I don't do that. But she was just like, you already saw it. Why would you waste time to it again? I'm like, because I saw it without you. The same. Sitting here resting my bones. This loneliness won't leave me alone. 2,000 miles I roam. So I got this really pale yellow with a fuck ton of artist medium in there. I think this is working really well. Because it's like I can get right on top of stuff that may be going at a weird angle. I think it's pulling off nice. I gotta get another follower so I can see it. I wanted to see it. That's the only thing. I'm looking at the wrong preview. Maybe that's my problem. I look at the dashboard in there. I don't see it. Gotta keep it up here. I can see the chat, so I don't know why I'm bothering with the other stuff. Now, as I say, now going back now, since we're finishing this, it looks like tonight, no problem. I got to think then what I want to do regarding Wednesday night and how I'm going to pull it off. I mean, it may be as stupid as changing my face cam to be this back cam so that you may see my computer screen and I could be like, look, this is where I'm pointing to. I don't know. I'll have to figure out if there's a way to like do like a mouse capture or something and over like pictures or whatever, and how to just focus on pictures, not necessarily my whole screen, because I don't want to, like, I don't need to go into like an infinity loop. I did that once by accident. Like trying to set up everything, and I accidentally hit like, share my screen or whatever, and the one thing, and Jesus Christ, my computer screamed at me. Like, it literally was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It was interesting to see it come to life and be sent to you like that. It didn't do that. I'm lying. It's live. Call the police. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so lonely. But my computer was not a fan of me for that day. That's for damn sure. So I don't want to do that again by accident. So hopefully I can figure it out in like a minute and a half that I'll have available to me before I have to go live next. On Wednesday. Yeah, by the way, top of the morning to you. Wonderful bit of parenting advice I can give. I don't know about any other kids, but my son, when he was an infant, like very, very young, like just learning to roll over kind of age, he used to love this song. Like, now mind you, it was also because I was sitting there on the floor with him, like grabbing his arms and making him like pretend like he's going to fight people and whatever. So I'm sure that's what was more entertaining to him, but it's always to this song. He did actually like what's the same name of the song? There was one song. It's not from House of Pain. It's fuck. I can't think of it right now. It's a Red Sox song. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up. Like the worst place too. I have to fucking search this. Tessie. That's it. By Dropkick Murphys. There we go. In case I can't believe it slipped out of my head. He used to love that song, and I mean, like, not anybody screwing around, kicking his feet or any of that stuff. He would sit in his bouncer and just start freaking out when that song came on. We used to say he was going to become a Red Sox fan. He's actually a White Sox fan. I mean, he likes the Phillies too. Don't get me wrong. He does. I mean, he's a loyal to his home team. But as far as what we say, you're allowed to have one in each league until they face each other. And then you got to pick one. So you can like the Red Sox in the American League, and then you can like the Phillies in the National League or whatever. Or like my son's case, you can like the White Sox in the American League, and then you're allowed, you like the Phillies in the National League. But if they play each other, you got to make a decision. Especially if they play each other in the World Series. Not like that's happening anytime soon for either team, likely, but yeah, maybe both clubs figure their shit out and they end up facing each other in the World Series. And it's got to make a call, and it better be the Phillies. Simply because my family history with it. That was one nice thing about yesterday. Like I said, we had Mother's Day tickets there, but I mean, for me, it was half, celebrating my mom and my wife, and then it was like half like going around to see my old family, basically. Because, Yeah, I used to work there, so everybody was, Brian, no, we miss you. No, I missed every one of them, man. I really wish I didn't have to leave this year. Hopefully I can, like I said, get something. Uh, you know, that is closer, allows me to work at the Phillies during the summers too, like as a second job, something like that. That'd be sweet. Now, if I do get to go back to the Phillies at any point, that will screw this up. So it means I won't be able to keep a dead set schedule. It'll be like, okay, well, this is the Phillies week, so this week there's no streaming because ain't no way. Unless somehow by grace of all you guys, it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and then I can like make a living off of this. I'm not asking that. I'm just saying if by some crazy fucking way that happened, or like I said, or suddenly I get a call from the Chester County Art Association and all the pennies I've given them if it's sold or whatever bullshit, any of that ever happens, then yes, I could keep a steady schedule, probably more towards the day, but that's you know. I'd have a better chance of if you saw one of the early episodes on this fucking bridge. What? Got a buffering issue again on it. Um, like I was joking around about like, if I had put somebody on this bridge looking out, like now you got a story there, you got to talk about what's he looking at, blah, blah, blah. And I said, maybe he's seeing hippos fucking there. And I would have a better chance of hippos fucking in this random Ambler, PA, crick than I would probably have all that stuff coming true. But I'm just saying, if something like that were to happen. This fucking thing's pissing me off. I don't know why I've been having it in the past few, nights I've had issues with this. Brothers in my house don't seem to give me this much trouble. They just like to go off randomly. It's another weird mixture. Sunshine Song from Parliament mixed into Cake's War Pigs cover. Just like witches at black masses. But see, I like mixes like that. I've said a couple times on here, I think. When I was on the high school radio station, I used to like to mix Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places, followed by Nirvana's I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. Or was it the other way? Hold on. No, it was Garth Brooks into Nirvana. That's right. I always did it after a commercial break. Primarily because we didn't have a lot of, like I said, I don't like country generally. And sorry if I offended anybody, but honestly, most of it's garbage. Anyway, I mean, in the best possible way. Um, See, it's fine. I said it the best possible way. Um, but I didn't have anything really to mix it into one way or the other, so it was just like I'd play Friends in Low Places because a buddy of mine liked it a lot. Uh, and then I would just flip on the mic real quick. And now for something completely different. And boom. Nirvana's I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. Yeah. And like I said, it was almost guaranteed to get a phone call. Like I said it here tonight, but I've said it before. So I'd always get a confused listener. Yeah, because we had like 10 kids that listened to the high school radio station. throughout the course of the whole day. They actually made it like a pain in the ass. So I was working at the high school radio station in the afternoon shift, like the after school shift, when they had discovered Kurt Cobain's suicide. But I had no access really to outside TV. We didn't have our smartphones and shit then, you know. So, a guy who I didn't really know. What? Or just freezing again on me. All right, that was going off. A guy I really didn't know had called up. Like I knew who he was, but I didn't know his voice very well. So like when he says that, yeah, this is, Brian, and I won't go his last name and stuff. It wasn't me. I didn't call myself. I wasn't crazy yet. Anyway, he calls up and says that Alexa, pause. Give it a few minutes. Let it fucking get rid of its funk. So he called up and he's like, hey, just you might want to notify everybody. It just was reported Kurt Cobain died. He just committed suicide. I'm like, what? They said, yeah, they found him dead. He committed suicide a few days ago, I guess. I was like, okay, shit. All right. So then I'm like, I can't just go in the air like that because I got one person who's telling me that they saw it, and I can't even verify the person because I don't know their voice very well. So somebody who was in my circle of friends or anything like that. So I was like, being a sort of responsible radio journalist, if you will. I mean, that's not what I was known for, but I was like, all right, guys, go online. I'm like, hey, I know there's not a lot of people listening here. I'm like, I hope someone picks this up. The high school radio station had they actually had decent power, but they had no antenna. So and the way it was angled or whatever, the way the radio, was kind of set up, the front part of the high school actually blocked some of the signal from people right across the street. So you couldn't pick up the radio station right around the high school. If you stepped outside of the school, if you had a house right across the street from the high school, forget it. You're not getting our high school radio station. But if you were down my house, which is about a mile away from it, you could get it. So it made it really difficult sometimes. So I'm like, listen, I need somebody to verify this. I was like, I have heard news, that, and this is rumor right now. I'm like, I keep trying to be super vague. Look, I've heard news that that there may be a death recently associated with the band Nirvana. I need to get verification of this. I am right now, unfortunately, unable to find that anywhere. As I can't leave this location, and I'm trying to get to access to the news to find out details right now. But I'm a little stuck. I was by myself in the station. Nobody's there. My partner, who did the Friday shows with me, well, I had two actually at the time, but they were both part of the TV studio at the time as well. So they had been working on the TV studio project, so they were out on that. So I was stuck. I had nothing to work with. And so I forget what song I put on. I put on I tried to find the longest song I had, but I had all grunge punk music. I didn't have anything long. So I tried to throw in as much as I could real quick and took off to the TV studio, which was in the same, general area. I mean, it was it shared the same classroom per se, but you had to kind of finagle things to get outside TV properly. So I had to jump over there with whatever time I could grab myself, not grab myself, but you know what I mean. And do that all day at the radio station. That would have been inappropriate. Nobody's here. I'll laugh at my own shit. But I had to try to find a way to verify it. And I was running around, and I finally got access to the TV feed. I was able to locate MTV, which was on a different signal than my home cable was. So I had to dig for it finally found MTV, and there they are on MTV News, confirming it. So I was like, okay, well, now I should do what any really good radio station do and put on like a huge Nirvana block. Except at the time, though I was a huge fan, I only had one disc. So I only had In Utero. And my partner Joe had actually lent me Nevermind. So I was able to put together a little bit of something. But I hadn't had what I considered was a viable collection to use properly and make a good memorial service. And that's when I started a stupid high level of purchasing Nirvana CDs. I think at my last count, I was somewhere in the 20s. Mostly like, imports and questionable sources. Before I had to convert them all over to, MP3s and MP4s and whatever. But. Yeah, we're wrapping this fucker up tonight. Yeah, that's good. I feel comfortable now. We're really close. Oh, I wish I had somebody to talk to. How I wish I had someone to talk to. I'm in an awful state. Man, it was on Saturday night. God, it's like the exact opposite of Saturday night. It's fucking Monday night. Only thing worse than that is Monday morning. Do you think Sunday night's worse than Monday night? I don't think so. For the most part, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because, again, I've kind of developed this very don't give a fuck attitude for my job, so I don't really tend to fret too much about it the next day. Like, I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. I don't like going in on Monday. But I don't really think about Sunday nights. But Monday night, I got to deal with all this shit that I had to deal with. I got to try to work it out before I get in here. Or at least keep it out of here, and then sometimes I have to work on it, like mentally on it. I mean, just getting past it, kind of thing, before I go to bed. Preferably without the use of alcohol, like I used to. It's actually kind of amusing to me. I've said for a while now that, like, I'm almost, I turned 40 in June. And I've been saying for a while, for my 40th, I was going to get, like, a really, really nice bottle of Jameson. I'm talking, like, 18-year, like 120, $150 bottle of whiskey. All right. And that was all I really wanted for my birthday, is sit and drink some of the best fucking whiskey I've ever had in my life. And now it's like, I don't drink much. I don't even know if I want that. I mean, I do, but it's like, I got a bottle of just regular Jameson I haven't touched, I think, since Christmas. Maybe New Year's. Well, yeah, let's see. We had a New Year's party, right? Yeah, we had people over New Year's. So the New Year's party... maybe 2 or 3 days after New Year's. Yeah, I did drink it since then, but not much. I have all this beer that I haven't touched in God knows how long. And I'm almost mentally prepping myself. My wife and I are heading up to it's the Mount Hope winery brewery, whatever. It's where the Renaissance Fair takes place here in PA. Or in the Philadelphia area. I don't know if it's... I mean, they are the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. I don't know. I guess it's the Pennsylvania, all Pennsylvania idea, but They're doing their Irish, their Celtic festival, and the band Gaelic Storm's coming, and I really wanted to see them, so I bought tickets for me and my wife. We're going up there. We got a hotel room, and so we can it's literally like across the street from the Renaissance Fair ground, so we could just get S-faced if we wanted to, and just crawl over across the street, and we're cool. Yeah. And we can enjoy everything there that day. And if we want to go back like the next day, I think it's like $12 to add the next day ticket on there or whatever. Yeah, so we don't have to rush home. But it's funny because I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, I'm getting drunk, but I don't drink like that anymore. I associate it too much with, like I said, all the bad shit I went through. So it's like, kind of don't desire it. I don't know if it's the medications that do it, that kill that desire, or what. It's just like kind of like a, I don't know. Or if it's just like one of those things where it's like, again, my whole philosophy right now, primarily at work, and throughout most of everything outside of work too, is just basically not to get sick again. And when I say that, I mean like sick. And so like any of those potential pitfalls, I just avoid like crazy. Alcohol's a depressant, so therefore, if I were to start drinking heavily anytime, just even for a quote-unquote lighthearted affair kind of idea, just to party out and have good times kind of scenario. It's like, that's not me. I don't want to end up. Not that I ever was a sad drunk, yeah, or not regularly. Again, once shit started going downhill, I did become a bit of a one. But not if there were people around, but if I was by myself drinking, and I drank a lot by myself, yeah, I was. But the we're getting deep today, aren't we? Anyway, I always end up at some point this way, don't I? And then one of my follow-up thoughts will actually be very ironic about this. But anyway, I but even in the idea of like drinking for like a party or whatever, I tend still to kind of avoid it, or I definitely avoid doing it to the point that I get smashed. Partly because if I'm at a party with people that I really like, okay, like this New Year's party we had like this past year at my house. It was the first one we really hosted. Well, the second one, I guess, but this is the first one we had everybody actually come over. First year, like everybody got sick, but yeah, we had a really good time. It was just like, and I didn't want to get like lit up because I wouldn't remember the conversations I had with these, with all the people there. Like my neighbor Matt, I play Rocket League with. We had talks about that. I wanted to remember, my buddy Doug, and his wife, the little talks we had with them. His son cracked me up. Okay, my last name's Coates, Coates. Okay, and I guess on the way there, they were trying to explain to him, who I was, what my name was, say, when they came in, say, hello, Mr. Coates. And anyway, he was playing, I think upstairs with my daughter or something. They were playing with some of my son's toys, whatever. The kids were all over, and they eventually started factioning off into all sorts of little subgroups. But at one point, he came up to his dad, and he's like, where's, I didn't remember my face. I'm sitting right next to him. Where's, the dad, Mr. Jackets? And I was like, what? And he goes, Mr. Jackets? And I was like, did you mean Coates? Yeah. I was like, dude, that's awesome. I was like, that's me. And he was like, I was like, it's Coates. I was like, dude, but you can call me Mr. Jackets. I don't know. It cracked me up. I thought it was hilarious. I guess because when I was younger, um, my dad used to actually introduce me as a jacket. Because I was a little coat. Yeah, little coats. I was a jackets. So when he said it, I just lost it. It was so funny. I was like, dude, I am. And I tried to make it clear. Yeah, he's a very sensitive young little kid. You know, like I was like, I didn't want to make him feel bad. I didn't want to make him think I was like laughing at him. I was like, dude, I am laughing with you. That is, I didn't say laughing, but I was like, that is hilarious. I was like, and I tried to explain to him how my dad used to, and you know, I was like, that you just literally just sent me back to my childhood. Like, I was like when I was like your age. I was like, that's awesome. But like I said, going back, I always divert back and forth. The the point is I'm trying to say is that like I said, I'd like to remember those bets, so I don't get like S faced at parties. I don't get S faced at concerts either, unless it's a concert I don't want to remember. Like my wife made me go see Bon Jovi with her one time. Ugh, I don't like them. It's just sorry. I know there's a lot of Bon Jovi fans. I just don't like them. Um, I would have gotten shit faced with Bruce Springsteen, but I was working, so I couldn't. But like when my wife and I sold Pearl Jam a long time ago. God, I don't think we were married yet. Jesus, that long ago? Or were we freshly married? But like I didn't touch any alcohol that night. I wanted to remember it. It's the first time I had gotten to see them. I wanted to remember it. You know, dudes right in front of us, literally like were pounding beers, and then the second it went dark, they sparked up. I was like, dude, really? Like, how fucking wasted do you have to get to enjoy a show? I don't know. Now I'm saying this, and like I said, I'd probably Gaelic Storm to get shit faced. Well, I'll be honest. I could seem to drink a lot of the Renaissance Fair Stout and not get shit faced. It's like my superpower. When we go to the Renaissance Fair, you pretty much will drink that all day. And like I said, I don't feel much alcohol at all in that. I don't know how strong they really are. I should probably find out, but it just doesn't really mess me up. Keep waiting for another follow. I just want to see Jade's hop up. Come on, electrical skateboarder, you're always on here. I always see you every goddamn time I do it, but you don't have listed as a follower. Come on, follow. Now you're gonna drop off on me because that's what happened last time I called you out. Come on, hey, come on, guy. How's it look on there? Let me see if this is showing. What's part of blurry? Ah, see, it's going there. I think this works. See, before we had a mess. This shit was just everywhere. Now I think this is better. This works a lot better. I might do a few more, like, just like, kind of like little things here, like where it crosses over on each other. You know, like, so it makes it more like this is water is rippling into that water, which is rippling into that water. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I think this is much better. I'm much happier here in this. But yeah, I mean, just make these few little adjustments. before, I think I was trying to, if I go back to the thing I said about the University Arts, sometimes I felt like that to be subtle like a jackhammer. I think that's what I was kind of going for, was to be stupid, like, look at this. And now I think it's much better that I'm pulling it back a little. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now I'm looking at myself painting those little adjustments and thinking that is an ugly human being. No wonder people log in and jump the fuck out real quick. It's like, Jesus Christ. Waiting for you guys to show up with pitchforks out front of my house at one point. Fire, pitchforks and torches. I'll just scream at you that I'm a human being. I'm not an animal. Fun fact: if you didn't know about the Elephant Man movie, if you didn't know who the producer was, that's Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks did that. I mean, he didn't direct it. I mean, he produced it. He was the money behind it. There's a great Mel Brooks documentary. If you've never seen it, let's make some noise. It's just really fascinating to watch how brilliant he was. I mean, he still is, but like just to see kind of how he came to be, is it's fascinating. And from what I understand, I believe him and I want to say it's Rob Reiner. I think that's right. I want to double check real quick. I think that's the rumor I heard. I believe it's Mel Brooks and Rob Reiner actually go out like and have ice cream a lot together. Like they just go to a regular ice cream shop all the time. Mel Brooks. Oops. Let's see if this will work. Ice cream. I think it's Rob Reiner. Carl Reiner. I'm sorry. That was close. As bad as this is now, that was pretty good. They go out and have ice cream together, like all the time, and like that was like a thing that they've done for a very, very long time. Is Carl dead? Carl's dead, isn't he? I guess they're not doing it anymore if he is. Carl Reiner. Yeah, he died. Okay. I was going to say, didn't he die? How long after the Last Ocean movie, right? But anyway, Carl and Mel used to go out all the time and have ice cream, and I just used to think to myself, that has to be a fucking amazing, like just to, like be a fly on the wall there. You know what I mean? Two fucking geniuses just talking about comedy or whatever the hell they wanted to talk about. Really, you could just let them go. It had to be amazing. I always wonder if there's something like that, like for other, true geniuses. I'm sure there's other Hollywood whatevers, actors, actresses, whatever, that are decent, but not like that level. You know what I mean? I'm talking that level. When you think about what Mel Brooks did, like, comedy was a thing, and undoubtedly there's always been comedic films, but I mean, he changed something. You know what I mean? He did something different. He busted up a lot of barriers and as I said, go watch Make Some Noise. was pissed off. Speaking of documentaries, though, they had the Beatles 8 days a week documentary on PBS or whatever, like 10 in the morning yesterday or something. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, I caught the very end of it. I was like, damn it! It doesn't look like it's being aired any other time soon. It's their pledge week, so they're just throwing in like, hey, here's something, you know, and now we know that you're watching this. Send us your money. It's probably another reason why I said, yeah, I've said many times, I'll never be rich because I'd end up spending it on a lot of stupid stuff, even if I did get a lot of money. End up being quickly pissed away. Because I'm sure that knowing my impatience with pledge weeks of anything, I'd just start donating stupid large amounts of money just to get it to end. Be like, if I give you your full goals for this week, will you just put your shit back on to normal? So I don't have to listen to you guys talk about how I can, you know, for $50 I can get a CD. Don't get me wrong, I would like, yeah, I can, I will support those things as best I can, but yeah, I love PBS, I love, you know, WRTI. I just really do hate their pledge weeks. It's something I found myself. I think it's just more. I hate to say this because I'm actually friends with some broadcasters, but like I've kind of gotten at a point right now because of all the phone calls I get and stuff that I deal with at my job. That I kind of just hate listening to DJs talk. And I don't mean to sound that like I really don't mean to offend my friends that like I said I know. Like I get so much noise, you know, in my head all day. It's like I just don't want to hear you spout off about random stupid stuff, like you guys are being forced to do here. So you know, when it comes to like say pledge weeks and stuff, like I said, I find myself like just shut up. Just if I had all the money in the world, I'd give it to you. Just to shut you up. Because I want. So I do appreciate them. I do support them when I can. But like I said, if I had lots of money, I'd donate like stupid amounts of it just to shut them up. Just can't handle it. Someone was here and just left. No hello, nothing. All right, we're almost there though. Look at this. What do you think? Not bad? Not horrible? It's not complete shit, right? It's not garbage. It's not the garbage it was. That's for damn sure. It had been ugly before. I think it's at a spot that it's passable now. Will this be one of my favorite paintings? No, because I don't like any of them. But it's not 100% true. It's pretty close. But if you held a gun to my head and told me which painting I had to tell you a painting I like, I'd ask for more time. So I have to really think about it. I also have to ask if like stuff I tolerate counts as liking it. It's not really the same thing to my, but most of the paintings I would say that I actually like probably fall under the study category more so than the ones that. And it's because I liked them, the originals, that I like the study of them. You know, I mean, yes, I have my own little flair to it, but like my Hiroshige copy that I did, you know, I had a connection with that piece, so I like it. You my last breath copy, like that study. I can't call them copies because they're not direct. But used them to tell a bit of my story. Like I said, the originals had a big impact on me, so I like them to a degree. I think they pale in comparison to the originals. But they're as close as I can get to having them in my house. Now comes a really good question since we're this close now to the end. What color do I sign my name? It seems so stupid and so trivial. And you actually have to think about this. I used to not sign every painting. So there will be paintings when I'm dead that people may not be able to verify are mine. Outside unless they know where they were purchased and whose family they may be in. Like, I sold a painting of a barn out in West Grove. Rather small piece. I mean, it's not big. I think it's like might be 16 by 20, if that. I'm not sure anymore. But I sold it to my friend Tina that I used to work with at Quest Diagnostics. But it wasn't a signed piece because I didn't really consider it a finished piece. It was more like I considered it a study for something I was going to do later, and then I never got around to doing it later. So to me, it was never complete. I always like to sign stuff complete. But then I've kind of gotten more into this idea that I don't want to leave it open should my stuff ever find again that should my stuff ever find like a real place in history somewhere. I don't want to leave it open for people to forge my shit very easily. I feel like they could get away with that if I have a bunch of stuff that's not signed. They'd be like, look, this is a Brian Coates original from 2018, and he didn't sign it. So I signed all my shit. Yeah. Even though I'm not very thrilled with it. I have a self-portrait I did, which I'm not exactly keen on. If there another reason, because it definitely was not. It's a self-portrait of definitely someone who wasn't very healthy. Yeah, some of those old ghosts kind of had riled up again towards the end of last year. So it was like, I fought them off, but that painting was not. It was someone who had been fighting. That's the best way to put it. So it's not one of my favorites. Most of my self-portraits don't fall into the favorite category. They're more about just getting the ability to study something easy and quick. I could paint myself however I want to and not get offended by myself. And that would be a trick, right? That would be a huge trick to be able to like, hey, I painted this and I am offended by it. Whereas I had done some. I'd done some portraits for a while in a more comic book style, trying to earn some extra money on the side. And it eventually got to the point where I started turning away because the people were just getting so finicky. And it's like, and when I explained how I did it, you can understand why I was like, dude, I can't keep pulling this off because they're just pissing me off now. I would ask them for 3 photos. I would ask them for preferably at least one straight on, and at least one, kind of 3/4, and anything else that they give me. This is just something to get a real good view of their face and something I can play around with for a couple of options. And and a lot of times they send it to me, and that's fine, and I'd pick one. And then what I would do is I would actually go into Photoshop and I would darken up the lines as best I could on their nose or whatever. And then I would print that out. And then I would actually darken them again in ink on the printout. And then whatever layout I had agreed with them on for, a lot of times it's like, my dad's head on Superman's body. All right, do the layout. And I would Photoshop it again to get it to the right size to meet my layout so it looks proportional. And then I would slap the two together. So here's my layout, and and then print it out. Usually two pieces that make it 11 by 17, and I would draw that out. And so it was a way for me to do their portrait without having to worry about whether or not I actually drew their portrait right, because it was their portrait. They literally, I'm tracing lines from their photo that I had already traced like 3 times to make sure that it was dead on. And then I'd send it to them for approval, and they'd be like, well, that doesn't really look like my father. And it was like, dude, it looks like your father. Like, or, it actually ran into it more with people's husbands. That was where I'd actually get a lot, or their kids. Like, that doesn't really look like my daughter's nose. It's like, that's your kid's nose. You're looking at him with, rose-colored glasses on. That's your kid's fucking nose. And I started getting really frustrated. I was just like, you know what, I'm not doing these fucking portraits anymore. Fuck these people. It's just so damn difficult to get through. I was already spending 12 hours, 15 hours sometimes on the drawing, and I was getting $60 for it maybe, and it was like, dude, I'm making scraps for the hassle. Like, it's not worth it. It's just not. I mean, I earned enough real quick, especially around that first Father's Day that I did it. I got so many questions I couldn't even do them all. But then, like, after that, it just became a constant barrage of, well, that doesn't really look like. And I was just like, I'm done. All right. Let's see. I always try to think of something different, like another color to sign it, and then I always end up picking something I've always done like 1,000 times. I mean, to me, you got green and orange there, kind of, green and orange, blue and orange there, so you don't want to really use either one of those. If I did like a carmine, but see, I end up falling for that a lot. I end up using carmine or alizarin or something like that. What should I do? Would the purple be too much? Like if I use like a cobalt to sign? I just fucking hit that thing again. Man's man, how are you? Maybe just keep it in that same tonality. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, let's do that. Let's go with that. Just tired, and I want this thing done with. So let's go with that. I think that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, nice little. All right. Yeah, there we go. They're working. Good. That's working. Sorry, I just changed that today, and I want to make sure it works. That's cool. Well, welcome, man. Welcome. It's a shame you're catching me like literally. This is almost over for the night. Actually, I should have been in it about 3 minutes ago, but I'm going on to finish this thing. But thank you for the follow. And I got to see that it worked. Like I said, changed that from the default zombie thing that I had, and I didn't like that. So I think I gotta change that sound though. I don't like that one. Pick something to fill it in. Beat that out a little bit. So that's just about over then. So that, all right, just finish this part. Fix that. This fucker has been a marathon. I'm glad it's over. I got too caught up in, you know what I mean? Like I got caught up in too much bullshit with trying to figure out that order and getting it right. Making it look how I saw it in my head. Sometimes it just takes too long to put in place. I was just do that, like, you ever look at stuff like a wall or whatever, like, you know, maybe some wood grain shit that you see in bricks or whatever, stones, like you see like a little darker pattern, and you maybe see like a face, or you see like, you know, maybe a weird shape, looks like a weird animal or something like that. And then like, you want to capture that, you want to put it on paper, and the second you do it, it looks like shit. Does that make anybody ever experience that? Like I forget the name of the phenomenon. It's where it's like where you see faces and things that, you know, you know, if you look at it like a mailbox and it looks like it's got a, you know, face or something. Like it's that phenomenon. But it's like you go to actually put it on paper and it's like, no, that's not what I saw. I didn't see this. I saw that, and you know, you start screaming at it. I just want to mix a little bit darker purple in there just to get that pop a little more there. So that's it, right? Code's 18. It's 18, right? We didn't work on this thing through a full year, right? Yeah, that's all right. We're done. I'm gonna step back one more time before I actually say we're done. We're done. But I think that's it. I think I'm happy. I'm not happy, but I don't hate it anymore. Let's put it that way. That's about as good as you get from me for my own stuff. I don't hate it. It does what I wanted it to do. Yeah, I think that's good. It's tolerable. Yeah. Yep. All right. All right. So I'm gonna slap this sucker on the wall over there somewhere, and I'll give it a day. Let it dry off here. Then I'll take it up, move it out of the way. So tomorrow night I'm gonna put some stuff together. Hopefully, um, yeah, I'm gonna try cracking at it on here first, and then see if I can do it. And then Tuesday, Wednesday will be like kind of more of a. I won't really be doing too much actual painting Wednesday. I might have the canvas kind of ready to go, but I don't think I'll be doing any, even drawing on it. I'm not sure. Uh, but we'll at least be talking about some artistic stuff. Like I said, I want this to become eventually more interactive, a little more talking about not but working on paintings. Hopefully, like I said, maybe people paint along at some point. Um, but I want to be able to get an idea from people, get you an idea of my thought process when it comes to looking at art, because it definitely informs the way that I create art. Hope that makes sense. I don't make sense very often. Try not to. But so yeah, hopefully I can get some stuff together quickly. Maybe during my lunch break tomorrow, I'll start popping out, you know, paintings and stuff that I want. I'm not clear yet on how I will be feeding this into this. I gotta look at what options I have, so that I don't accidentally cause like an infinity loop of the feed there. So we'll see what we can do on it. Like I said, hopefully I can maybe put together a slideshow or something, some way to make it work as a video type feed, and I can talk on top of it. And then after that, Thursday, we'll get cracking maybe on the get the drawing done for whatever the next painting is going to be. Like I said, I'm still kicking around one or two ideas. Like I said, I want to look at my canvases first, and then from there we'll go probably Sunday. We'll actually start the paint a little bit. You know, it'll be mostly the underpainting because it's gonna be quick. Again, Sundays are kind of a short day for me streaming here, so we'll get that kind of underpainted. Monday start the real work on it. You know, next week, and then we'll get it going. Hopefully, it'll be a lot fucking faster than this piece of shit was. Hopefully I can get away without using as much like my palette paper too. Killed it this time. And all right, guys. So if I can figure out how to stop it off this new stream.